But even when they added that little cover up for the sinking ship, it just didn't last very long. And now TNA Impact Global Wrestling Impact Zone is sinking once again. Hopefully, it doesn't take any of the wrestlers that it's with, that's in the company with it.
Yeah, Bubba Ray Dudley, of all people, actually sent out a really nice tweet that said something like, "Okay,
to all the wrestlers, it's not you."
Yeah, it's not you, it's them. Where if the ship goes down, it's not because of you guys. Which, again, absolutely true. It's all the management of Global Force Anthem Wrestling Force, Power Rangers Force. Yeah, that's the only way it's ever going down. It's always been an issue of management, and like I heard you alluding to earlier, with the way things are going, by the time this is all over, it would have just been drawn out for so long that I honestly don't know how I'm going to react when it's all said and done.
What can this company do? Really?
At this point, I'm just excited to see how far this is going to actually go before it ends.
Who's still with the company?
Low Key, Sanjay Dutt. Why are only X Division guys still coming to mind right now?
Because it's so easy to think of X Division guys.
Pretty much, yeah. But anyway, it's Global Force.
Is our boy Aaron Stevens still there?
Actually, I don't think he is. I think he's already gone.
That didn't last long, did it?
Yeah, unfortunately not. But hey, it's the Global Force Anthem TNA Total Nonstop Force Action Wrestling way. I need to get off this topic before I keep coming up with new ways to talk about Force Wrestling, Global Wrestling.
I don't think Del Rio's still there either.
Yeah, I don't. Again, who else do they have at this point? I say nothing. But anyway, last and certainly but not least, we have Nikki Bella joining the cast of Dancing with the Stars. What do you think about this, fool?
I don't ever want to talk about Nikki Bella. Ever. Moving on.
Okay. Well, I guess that's all for backstage news. Now we get to move on to the crazy Monday Night Madness of Monday Night Raw. Starting things off right at the top of the show with another Roman Reigns versus Cena segment.
Well, actually, first we had a John... Actually, Jeff, as I pull up my imaginary nerd glasses, the Raw actually started with John Cena versus Jason Jordan.
Yeah, but did you really care about that match?
It actually wasn't a bad match. For me, it was the do or die for Jason Jordan. And it actually was... I did like the fact that it's this is repeating now. It's Kurt Angle's son versus John Cena, similar with John Cena's debut against Kurt Angle on SmackDown so many years ago. It wasn't a bad match. And then Roman Reigns came out and just completely took a dump all over Cena. It's like, oh yeah, you're not as great as you think you are. You couldn't beat took you 20 minutes to beat a rookie, even though Jason Jordan's been wrestling for a lot longer in WWE. So that's a fail on Roman Reigns' part. This was obviously the whole point of this segment was to have this be Roman's week compared to what Cena did to him last week. Granted, there's nothing Roman can do to top that.
Nah, that. You want to talk about your epic beatdowns?
And I was gone. Like I said, I was gone. So for the past 2 weeks, so I didn't even watch this live. But everyone kept telling me, it's like, did you watch it? I'm like, no. It's like, dude, you have to watch the full segment because John Cena just tears him to pieces.
It seriously was. Oh man, it was destruction.
And I did. I loved every second of it. And of course, then all of a sudden they had to throw in a penis joke
because WWE
because Roman Reigns is still not past that whole Sylvester suffering succotash nonsense. I almost messed up there.
Sucker and succotash. Suck what?
As I turn to the camera and wink because I'm a total douchebag.
Tee
hee. Yeah, I got the idea of what they were doing here. This was obviously Roman's week to put Cena down. It's like, oh, you're just all talk and no walk type of ordeal. And although I did like the fact that Cena said, "You better watch it or I'll beat you down," and Roman Reigns just responds, "Do it. Come on, I'm right here. Do it." And Cena doesn't. And the big debate that I've been reading after this is that Roman Reigns in this segment it's a big torn. Is John Cena being the quote heel of this feud by refusing to fight, or is Roman Reigns the heel basically for completely tearing down Cena and basically just talking about how awesome he is and how much you suck? So when it comes to that, I look at Roman as more of the heel on this one. Not just because I'm not a huge Roman Reigns fan. If you listen to past episodes, I don't think anyone on this show is, including our missing scholar, Brian. We didn't bring him up on the intro, so I feel like we had to add him in somewhere.
Yeah, the aliens got him again. He'll be back soon.
Mm-hmm.
Go get him, Duke Nukem.
Watch out for the probes. Well, apparently Fandango liked the probe, so hopefully you will too.
But he's not Fandango, so what are we gonna do? Anyway, moving on.
Okay, back to Roman. Shit, what was I saying? Who's more the heel and the face on this one? And I'm more siding on the fact of Roman is being more the heel of this feud, because yes, John Cena basically laid a smackdown on him last week, but John Cena does that to everyone he's in a feud with. So, and he's the one people gravitate more to than Roman. Even the kids. If the kids had to choose between Super Mario Endless Star Roman Reigns versus Superman John Cena, they'd probably go with Superman. But yeah, I'd say Roman definitely is taking more of the heat. Definitely being more the heel factor in this one. Being the tough guy heel, not the cowardly heel.
Yeah, this seems to be more of a face versus tweener dynamic. I'm not sure if I can really call Roman a full-on heel, but he's certainly closer to that line than he's ever seems to have been since the Shield days.
I'm not saying he's a full-on heel. I'm just saying if it has to be between which one has the more heel tendencies, then it's more him.
Okay, in that sense, then yes, it's all about Roman.
And I really hope that when it comes to No Mercy, they find, of course, this is what everyone's been saying for the past few years, but when you look at it storyline wise, you really do have to turn the guy heel to really develop something out of it, because when it comes to pulling the heel tendencies, it seems more natural for him.
Yeah, I can definitely see them going slowly in that direction over time. I think it's going to become way, way more overt as time goes on, leading up to No Mercy. Because they're going to have to go one way or the other on this. And like you said, they're not going to make Cena the heel in all this. Even when he loses, then there's another fan favorite like your Nakamura's, like your Kevin Owens's. Everyone's rooting, just because everyone's rooting for Kevin Owens or Nakamura does not mean that Cena is being the heel.
Let me ask you something. Quick pause here, but it's still on topic, but something I noticed.
Yes. On
the video packages for this match, how they had Roman talk about how Cena is always quote burying talent. When he said that, the immediate clip shows of John Cena giving the AA to Nakamura. And then my immediate response is, wait a minute. Didn't Nakamura win this match against John Cena? You're just completely screwing up your storyline with this promo. It's like, what are you doing here? You're kind of proving Roman Reigns wrong in this by showing that particular clip. If it was showing like The Miz or something, yes, it would make more sense. But I am liking, speaking of Miz, I like that he's even saying like Miz is a jackass, but he has clawed his way to the top, and I respect him for what he's been doing to get to that spot. Roman, on the other hand, has been given that spot because they're trying to push him as the new me, and the fans can see that. I love how, yes, it's still storylined. It's still how WWE wants it to go, because seriously, I don't think they would have them go this far. Mm-hmm. But I do like the quote quote realism that they're adding to this. It's like they're actually picking up. It's like, okay, obviously the fans are seeing right through this, so let's use this to our advantage. And hopefully they'll be smart about this, but we've been saying that about WWE for the past, 3 years since we've been doing this?
Hey,
so
set your sights low enough, you're bound to score.
I guess.
Well, again, the show goes on, and so is the storyline. And speaking of the show going on, apparently we got Enzo Amore, of all people, as the number one contender for the Cruiserweight Championship. What do you make of this run?
Putting Enzo Amore... I think we've even said this on the show. I think even Brian said it on the show, too. I think you're the only one who actually was against it. I remember you saying... Or was it Brian? One of you said that you would rather see Enzo more as a manager.
I think that might have been Brian.
I know one of you have said it.
Because to me it seemed like it could be a decent enough way to freshen up Enzo Amore and keep him relevant.
Actually, I think it's it was their best choice to put him on 205 Live.
Especially with the way he was booked here. Just sort of a sneakier, slimy guy who ends up winning his matches through shenanigans and roll-ups and all that.
What I like that, like, people are like, oh no, Enzo Amore is one of their biggest merchandise draws. And they're turning him heel? No, they are not turning him heel. This is not a heel move.
Delightful tweener, maybe?
If anything. I feel like this is what they're doing. Like, they're pulling like an old school Eddie Guerrero type feel with him, lying, cheating, and stealing. But he's still the guy that people want to see win. Like, I can see him pulling the whole Eddie Guerrero. You see him holding a chair ready to use it. The referee getting up. He sees it. He slams it to make it sound like someone hit him. And then he throws the guy the chair and falls on the floor.
You know what? After you said he does really good in merch sales, I just had an epiphany here. Here's a thesis, and you feel free to discuss this however you want. Here's my thesis. Enzo Amore is the American Toru Yano. Discuss. Similar spot, wins matches by trickery and roll-ups and shenanigans that the crowd seems to like, and is capable of taking down just about anyone on the roster with the shenanigans.
That's not Big Cass. That's not anyone on Raw.
Hey, progression's got to start somewhere.
That's I really don't have anything to say about that.
I think I will either be proven right or proven wrong by how they handle the rest of this Enzo gimmick for at least until No Mercy.
The big factor is if they're going to give him the Cruiserweight Championship off, if they're going to take it off Neville and give it to him.
I really hope they do. Enzo deserves something. He really does.
I would just think it would just be hilarious that he wins a title before Big Cass ever does.
And you know what? When they eventually get back together, they can use that as almost like a brownie point thing. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, yeah, you're the 7 foot tall catchphrase that I invented, and I got a title before you ever did. So
suck it. Yeah. How you doing? The only real disappointing factor in this is that it would be so much fun to see Enzo be the one that takes the title away from Neville. But I feel like they kind of... No, I wouldn't 100% say ruined it, but they kind of hurt it. Ever since they took the title off him with Tozawa. And from what I've read, that he gained it back, the whole title win that Tozawa had was completely pointless. Granted, most of the title wins that happened at SummerSlam turned out to be completely pointless. Because, the two big titles that changed hands, got changed back, the Raw Women's title and the Cruiserweight title. What the